channel. Today we wanted to do a little bit of a catch up and explain to you guys why we have not posted in a week and a half. The last week and a half has been absolutely crazy with just different things going on in our lives, and then the hurricane kind of coming out of nowhere. If you guys are not familiar with Hurricane Matthew that decided to try to ram into Florida and did in many places, that kind of happened, what, mid last week?
Yeah. We left here on Wednesday.
Yeah, I had already gone up to Georgia to spend time with my sister and my niece. And so I was already there. I didn't know anything about the hurricane. I think maybe a couple of people had mentioned it, but I didn't really think anything about it. Because I feel like the last time a hurricane came, Derek and I were both like, should we leave? Should we stay? And everybody was like, it's no big deal. Yeah, and it did nothing. So I think we were already just kind of thinking that and like, whatever, nothing's going to happen. So a couple of days later after I'd been there, Derek called me and was like, they've issued a state of emergency. They're telling anybody who can get out to leave. Do you think I should go or should I stay? And so we decided for him to come up as well. Now, I was supposed to come back the day that he actually drove up to Georgia. So I knew I wasn't going to post a video on Wednesday, or that it probably would not happen just because I was in Georgia. I was doing things with family and everything. So I didn't even take the camera, which was a dumb decision on my part, but I had to work that weekend, and so I knew I was going to be back. But then with the hurricane and work was canceled and everything just kind of got jumbled, and then Derek came at the last minute. And so we didn't have a camera. We didn't have any way to post anything.
And it was like an impromptu, like, getaway.
Right, yeah, kind of like a little bit of a vacation to get to Georgia, but it just meant no posting videos. I'm pretty sure that I posted on Twitter that we were fine. I didn't want you guys to be freaking out. Marie is freaking out now. Don't freak out like Marie does. But I didn't want you guys to be freaking out thinking something had happened.
Right, yeah.
I think we lost power and we had a good bit of wind, but other than that, everything was okay for us. I know a lot of people had it a lot worse.
Yeah, I've got some friends
places.
because we're in Orlando, obviously, but I have some friends up in Jacksonville, and
yeah, it was bad.
It wasn't pretty.
So that all happened, I guess about a week and a half before that. We found out that I was pregnant, and we had lots of different positive pregnancy tests, and it was just kind of like a very weird time for us. You guys know we are 100% invested into the adoption stuff. I had my laparoscopic surgery, and we knew that there was maybe a small chance that we would actually get pregnant, or that we would have a higher success rate after the laparoscope. But we didn't really think anything about it. We weren't really trying or anything. We were so, like I said, invested in the adoption stuff and really focusing on that. And so I went through, you guys know, we were doing the low carb, high fat kind of diet, and I got to the point where I could not eat meat. The thought of it made me
Well, it was
sick.
just like, to cut out carbs and to do all of that, it was like you could basically have meat and cheese
and
eggs.
Yeah.
And you can only have meat and cheese and eggs.
Right. So I just got to the point where I just couldn't eat meat, and it was just making me so nauseous, and I was just so not myself. And so I took a pregnancy test, and I knew it was going to be negative. That's why I didn't film anything. I didn't even tell Derek that I was taking one, but I just took it and I waited like a minute. I went to go do something and I came back, and like as I'm sitting here watching this test, like the line's just getting darker and darker and darker, and I'm like, holy goodness, like what is going on?
Right, yeah, you even woke me up.
Right, I went and woke him up. I sent a picture to my sister, I sent a picture to my friend Victoria, and I was like, this is positive, right? There's no way that this is not positive, because we've had so many tests that were like faint lines, and maybe it's there, maybe it's not there. It was like not enough there to be like, yes, for sure you're pregnant. But this one, there was just no denying it. It was 100% positive. And so over the course of the next few days, I continued to take tests, and they just kind of were like hit or miss. Some of them were dark, some of them were lighter, some of them were kind of there, some of them were not there at all.
Right, yeah.
And so finally, after like 5 days of that, I decided to call and schedule a blood test.
Right.
And actually that next morning is when the positives completely stopped and I started bleeding and cramping a lot. And so it was just, it was so emotional, which is why we didn't say anything. And honestly, I kind of expected this week to be sharing a video with you guys being like, surprise, we're pregnant. How in the world did this happen? It's such a miracle. We're so excited. It's so great. And instead, I'm just sitting here like, yep, it sucks. Number 3 in a year is really sucky. And it is. It completely sucks. And it hit me, I told him it hit me a lot harder than I thought it was going to. I feel like after number 2, like, not that it gets easier in any way. It's hard every time.
But even like the months we were like, we're not like super duper hardcore trying, and if it happens, it happens, and then we got the test. So I think it was like the unexpected factor.
Yeah, it was the unexpected, and I think being knees deep in this adoption stuff and it's a hard process and it's a hard journey, and so the thought of, we don't have to do this anymore.
Right.
We don't have to put $30,000 into adopting a baby.
We don't have to talk about trying to convince someone that we're going to be good parents anymore.
We're just going to be parents. It's easy. It's simple. It's what we've wanted. It's perfect. Everything is great. And then they were negative, and it was like my world just like crashed down around me again, and I felt like year 1 of trying all over again, and just that disappointment and that heart-crushing feeling of like, there's nothing I can do to save this. Well, it doesn't matter how bad you want it. There's nothing you can do. We
even started your progesterone shots again, and everything to like,
I was taking shots in the butt every single day, and I was happy to do it, and I would do it all over again. I would still be taking them now if I even thought for a second that it would have helped. I continued to take them for a couple of days, even after the test turned negative, and my doctor was like, there's not any point in continuing. You might as well just stop. And I was like, I'm just going to keep doing it, just on the off chance that, like, what if things are just too diluted, and what if, I don't know, just your mind goes to all of these crazy places. And it was just really, really tough for me. So I decided to go up to Georgia. Spending time with my sister and my niece is like the happiest that I ever am, other than with this guy, which he's been so busy with work and school that it didn't really matter. But just being up with them, they're my best friends in the whole entire world. And so I knew if I was there that I would kind of be able to get my mind off of things and just kind of enjoy it and have a fun time. And I can't exactly say why we didn't share it with you guys at the beginning. We were both nervous. We didn't know if it was going to last. And I kind of in the heat of the moment thought, we're not going to say anything. We're just going to pretend like it never happened, and we're going to keep on moving, and we're just going to pretend like I said, like nothing ever happened.
Right.
But the more that I thought about it, like, that's one of my biggest fears, is just that our lives will continue on like it never happened. And I want for each of these 3 pregnancies, if you believe that there is life that early on and that they're in heaven or whatever you believe, if that is a thing, then I want for them to know that, like, we cared about them and that we couldn't just be quiet and we had to like share our stories. And October is Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month, and so it's just like, I want to be completely open and honest with you guys about our story, because I feel like a lot of people kind of have the same story to tell and would like to not feel like they're alone, I guess. It's just like infertility, and I guess that's another point I want to bring up, is like, switching to adopting does not negate your infertility feelings or your desire to experience pregnancy or your desire to carry a pregnancy.
Right. It gives you part of it, like, but you don't get the natural, like,
it doesn't necessarily like take those feelings away. And I remember telling my friend Victoria on the day we found out, because we found out that we were pregnant the same day that we got our home study approval, or the day after. It was like right there at the same time. And I remember telling her and being like, I don't know why I care so much. Like, it doesn't matter. If this pregnancy doesn't stick, we're still going to have a baby. And she was like, no, that's not, it still matters. It's still completely normal to care. It's completely normal to be sad and depressed if it doesn't stick. And so I think that was like the beginning process of me being like, no matter what happens, like, this baby is here now, and however long they're here, I'm grateful for it. And I want to, you know, use that hard part of our story, I guess, to like share and encourage other people. I think you deal with them a little bit differently every time, maybe, than I do.
Well, yeah, and it's not my body either, so.
Yeah, I'm paying attention to all of, like, the symptoms and the feelings, and then I'm the one who has to go through everything that comes after the pregnancy ends. And
well, and so, that, and like, you have a lot more time to think about it as well, because I'm on the go all the time with work and school. So, I mean, it's not that I don't deal with it, but I don't just think, in a different way. Yeah.
So this, like we said, these past 2 weeks have been an absolute roller coaster, and I even went through a period of time, and I feel like I'm still kind of trying to get through it, of I don't want to have kids anymore.
Right.
I don't want anything that has to do with having kids, because the heartbreak and the hurt that has always come every single time in every single way that we've tried to start a family is just like, it's not worth it to me anymore. I don't care. I don't want it. Which is not true. Obviously, I still want to have children, and I still want to be on this, well, I was going to say I still want to be on this journey. I don't want to be on this one in particular anymore if I had a choice. But I think those are also like natural feelings of just like, could I not just be happy? I have so many wonderful things in my life. I have such wonderful friends and family, and a husband who loves me, and we have a wonderful life, and so many things that other people would love to have, and yet I can't just be happy. I have to have a child. And so just kind of like dealing with those emotions and those feelings as well has been hard these past 2 weeks. And so I felt like today was the first day that I could really sit down and talk to you guys and be like, I'm not losing my mind. We haven't been blown away by the hurricane. But it feels like the hurricane came literally and metaphorically. Like, our life has been a hurricane the past 2 weeks, and I don't know, it just hit us hard, and I feel like that always happens. We start to get to this great and perfect place of bliss and happiness, and then it's like a slap in the face. Whammy. Of like, don't forget how sucky your life really is. Which I don't mean that like in every
just that one aspect,
right, it's just like, don't forget, you can't get pregnant, or you can get pregnant, but it's never gonna last. And so one thing that we've talked about a lot is me going on birth control, just so that it can't happen anymore. Right,
because then we don't have to deal with
because that. I mean, like I said, this is number 3. First one was with our fresh IVF cycle, and then second one was in January, which was also natural, and then this one was natural as well. And we just, it worries me more that we can get pregnant naturally and it just doesn't stick. And then also getting pregnant with IVF and it not sticking as well.
Right, and I mean, we've had, like, you've been tested for like the killer cells and stuff, so. Yeah,
something's definitely wrong. Something is very wrong, and I don't know that we will ever know what it is. But I think it's just like a safeguard to protect our hearts and our minds and our lives in a way. I mean, it just, like you guys have seen, I mean, we haven't posted a video in a week and a half. It just throws a wrench into things. And it's just so many emotions, and it makes you reconsider everything in life. And so I think going on birth control is just kind of an easy way to like just say we don't have to worry about that. And obviously it won't happen forever. We still hope in a year or two that maybe we will go back to IVF or start this whole infertility stuff over again. But as far as right now, I think that's just kind of where we are, where we're at, which is so weird. It is so weird to think about starting birth control so that I don't get pregnant. I've never taken birth control to not get pregnant. And like to say, I keep getting pregnant, so let's go on birth control. Like, that just seems so weird considering we're sitting here with no children. So anyways, please keep us in your thoughts and prayers, and just, I'm praying that this weekend is a good weekend. We have the whole entire weekend off together starting now, and we're gonna go and have some fun. We'll take you guys with us to have a normal vlog. I feel like we haven't had a normal vlog in like 2 or 3 weeks.
Long time,
but yeah, just going and having fun and spending time together, and just, it's just one of the things you have to work through. You just have to get through the time, and once the time kind of passes, then things get easier and they don't hurt as bad. But thank you guys so much for those of you who have reached out to us on Instagram or Twitter, or on our videos, and asked how we were doing. Like I said, we just didn't have really any camera or anything, or really anything to say. I didn't know what to say, in all honesty, for a long time. And so, we hope you guys are doing well. Let us know how your week has been. what you guys have been up to. We will see you guys again on Monday with a normal, regular, old-fashioned, good old vlog. Right? Do you have anything you'd like to say? I feel like I just talked for the last 10 minutes and you just sat here smiling at me.
I'm good.
You sure?
Yeah.
You don't have any fun and exciting news? You're not going to be president tomorrow or anything?
Oh, yes. Okay. I've accepted my nomination to run for president. No. But, no, I mean, life has been hectic too because I got a new position at work. So, it's been a lot of changeover. So,
yeah.
Anyways, we are hopefully getting back to the realm of normality.
I hope so. Hopefully no more surprise pregnancies or chemical pregnancies or whatever you want to call it.
Or other surprises, actually, in that, like, matter of anything. Like, I don't want to have to take a dog to the bed.
Oh, no bad. Is that a surprise, though? I guess it is. No bad surprises. Only good surprises.
Only good ones.
I hope you have a fantastic week. We love you guys. Bye.
Bye, homies.